Hello everybody and welcome back. I hope you had a great March break. I know I did. Some of you sent your work to me over the break and I got to it. So if you have, you've gotten your feedback so you can complete your project. If you haven't completed your Module 2 summative, you need to make sure you get that to me. Currently I'm missing about 10 assignments for summative 2.1, 2.2, as well as the final module summative. So make sure you get those to me as soon as possible. I've already received some emails from a few of you asking for an extension. So if you're getting an extension, just make sure that you do ask first so that I know and I can record that information. So I have released module 3 today, so it should be up and running. This is what it looks like, okay? It's just like module 2, except for with different information. So this one is all about physical development. So the first one was all about, module 2 is all about theories. This one here is about physical development. It looks at the sensory, the motor, and the brain development. So I have a checklist here I'm going to go over just to make sure that you're clear on what to do for this module. So the whole thing's about what's going on in the brain, as well as the physical development. So right off the bat, this is the overall inquiry question that is gonna, like this, you should be able to answer this question by the end. And this is the overall summative task. Now the summative task is going to be asking you to make 2 timelines. Part 1 of this will be the inquiry from part 3.1, and the second part will be from 3.2. So, it looks a lot like module 2. So, let's take a look at 3.1 just for now. So, we're going to look at the Explore Secondary Questions section. So, we click on this, and these are the secondary questions. So, there's 5 of them. 3.11, 3.12, 3.13, and so forth. So, if we click on, let's say, 3.12, you guys are going to be completing some of this work just like you did in the first module. So this is the overall inquiry question, and there's some support questions down here. Now, I'm not going to be collecting these questions here, but I will be collecting a few of the inquiry questions. So I recommend that you do these, because the more you do of these, the better information you'll have. And then just at the bottom, you have some suggested resources. So what we're going to look at right now is we're going to go back to the module, okay? And we're going to take a look at the summative task. So if I click on the summative task, this is the overall summative for the entire unit, okay? So, does the development of the brain affect sensory and motor development at each stage in the lifespan? Basically, what you're going to be doing for this is you're going to be completing 2 timelines. So use 2 timelines to show the development of brain physiology in relation to the individual sensory and motor development. Make detailed comparisons between the 2. This is important because this is based on the information that you will be getting and you'll be using from 3.1 and 3.2. There's more information here on how to complete this. So, for example, 3.1 focuses on the brain, 3.2 focuses on sensory information. So something like this, there is no necessary prescribed format you need to follow for the timeline. So for your timeline, I'll accept any format. If you wanted to do it in a PowerPoint, that's fine. If you wanted to use one of the apps on online, that's also okay. If you wanted to do it like a screencast like I'm doing, that's also fine. And what I'm going to be looking for is I want you to make some timelines of some key developments in sensory and motor development. So, for example, if I said during the prenatal stage of human development, it's very important that mothers get folate or folic acid. The folic acid helps with brain development and helps with fusing of the spine. And without proper access to folate, a fetus might not develop properly and might be hindered in its further development. So it might get something like spina bifida. So what I'm looking for is something like that, where you're going to explain one of the big factors in development, and explain why it's important, what happens at that stage, and what would happen if you didn't get that stage in the development. Okay? When you're completing this task, I want you to make sure that you use appropriate terminology, so stuff like gross motor skills or motor skills, or terms like spina bifida, anything that's relevant to the topic. Make sure you use appropriate terminology. If you're using outside sources, which you will be, you need to cite your references in proper APA format. Okay. So if you have any more questions about this, you can always ask me, or you can post them to the discussion board. If they're general questions, post them to the discussion board and I'll answer them there. So moving back to the module, let's take a look at what's going to be expected of you this time. Okay. Unlike module 2, I'm not going to have you submit 2 support questions per subunit. Okay. I'm going to have you do 1. So for example, in 3.1, I only need you to answer and respond to 1 of these. And you will submit 1 of these, 3.11, 3.12, 3.13, 3.14 or 5. You're going to answer 1 of those and submit it to the proper Dropbox, okay? Same thing goes for the exploratory questions in 3.2. Just answer 1 of them and submit them to the Dropbox. So you also have this, which is the checklist. So this is what the checklist looks like for this unit. You have your 3.1 inquiry question due Friday, 3.2 due next Thursday, the summative task. It's either going to be you complete summative 3.1 or 3.2 and submit that. Now this doesn't mean that you don't have to do both, because they will both be used for the final summative, this one here, okay? Just means that for this date, April 5th, you need to do either 3.1 or 3.2. Check these off when you're done, and that'll work for you, okay? Now, moving forwards, what I need to do is I use these check-ins, these things that you send me, I use them to determine your activity on this course as well as your attendance. So if you don't send stuff to me, then I have to mark you absent. Regardless of whether you've been on, I have to mark you absent if you are on this, or if you never submit something in the week, I have to mark you absent. So if you have completed everything early, then make sure you send me something. Send me an extra support question. Send me an extra secondary question. Do something. Get in contact with me somehow during each week so that I know that you're online and you are participating. If you ever need any extensions or anything like that, let me know. Any general questions, please post them to the discussion board. Anything specific, you can email me or page me. If you come across a broken link in this, tell me and I will provide you with a secondary link to it. I'm currently marking your summatives from Module 2, so bear with me. You should have them by the end of the week. If you have any questions, let me know, and I hope this helps.